Alright, so I wanted to make a video on how to drive a Tesla, and this is a Model S P85. So it's a slightly older Tesla. This is a 2014, but not a lot has changed in that time, so it's still the same principle for any other Tesla. So I'm just going to go through kind of the user interface, and then as well as how to put it into gear, and just how to really drive this vehicle, because it is a little bit different than a gas-powered car. I mean, this is completely open down here, as you'll see. A lot of space down here, no gear shifter, no anything. It's literally just storage. And then the first thing you'll notice in this car is there is a giant screen, and you have all your music on the bottom, you have navigation. So it's really nice to have this big screen in the center of the car. You can always see it. It's really user-friendly. And there's a lot of settings you can change on it. So, if you press the little car down here, it'll bring you up to the menu, or settings, I guess you could call it. And you can see there's a lot of settings. The first one, controls. You can change the exterior lights. Car, you can open and close the sunroof here. You can open and close the charging port in the back of the car, open the trunk. Then you get into your settings for driving the car. So you can change the steering feel, regenerative braking, standard or low, creep, traction control, and suspension. You can change the ride height on this car, which is really cool. I actually didn't know that. So really nice feature to have. You can raise and lower the car. Now you can set your charging parameters as well. So you can see that it's set to 40 amp, which in this house charging system is what you want it to charge at. If you're going to a supercharger, it's going to be a lot faster, but when you're at home, you can charge it overnight. You don't really have to worry. So with the vehicle settings, you'll see it's a lot like any other car. You can set it when you walk away, the doors will lock. You can preset what you want the car to do when you come back to it. You can set child lock protection on it. You can do mirror auto tilt, mirror auto fold. There's a lot of things that this car has, and everything's digital, which is nice. Have your headlights, dome lights, display. Can change the brightness, energy saving, bunch of settings here. You can set kind of Fahrenheit or Celsius, distance. Now you can do trips, which shows your last trips, how much energy you used, how far you went, things like that. Navigation settings, just like any other car with navigation. Safety. You can see there's a bunch of safety settings on the car. You can set a pin for it. You can set a pin for the glove box as well, so if you don't want someone getting in there. Cabin overheat protection. There's a bunch of settings on this car. Now this car doesn't really need any service. I guess you got to change the windshield wipers and change the batteries if you really drive it that far and that long, but for the most part you're not doing oil changes on this car or anything like that. So it's really just kind of user settings and how to reset the Bluetooth, owner's manual, things like that. Now there is a screen for the software, which shows the VIN and shows the mileage and everything like that, so you can see exactly what's going on. Right now you can see that it's downloading a navigation update. I didn't set that, so that is just started on its own. And then of course there's the upgrades, which for this car there are no upgrades, so you don't really have to worry about that. Alright, so the next thing I want to show you is the climate control. So you'll see there's a number here, and there's also a number here. This is the driver's side, and this is the passenger side. So you can tap it, brings up another screen. We'll get into that in a second. If you hit up and down, you can see you can change the temperature. You could also turn on your heated seat. And then if you tap either one of them, it brings up kind of a bigger screen, but you can change the fan speed. You can turn it on and off. You can change what vents it comes out of. Make the defrosters go on, and you can also turn on your heated seat from this screen as well. Now this car does have some cool features where once you're in the menu for it, you can have it keep a certain temperature. So even after you get out of the car will stay at the same temperature. That way if you're just running into a store and it's 100 degrees out, you can keep the car cool while you're in the store. There's a dog mode. So this one is the screen stays off after you leave. That way the dog can't accidentally hit it or anything like that. But you can leave a dog in the car and no one's gonna freak out. Well, you've seen all those videos with people putting signs in their car saying, dog's okay, this air conditioning's on, we'll be back soon. But that is the mode for that. And then the last mode is camp mode. So this one is if you're sleeping in the vehicle, you can put it into camp mode and it doesn't turn on any of the security features or anything because it knows someone's still in the car, but it's going to keep the climate comfortable all night. So that way you can sleep. And I don't know how many people are really sleeping in a Tesla, but you could do it if you wanted to. Now this car has a really nice gauge cluster as well. You can see it's all completely digital. And on the left, you'll see that right now it's set to show what music is playing, which there's no music playing for copyright issues, but you can see the music on the left. And then you can scroll down and see energy, and it switches the sides. Trips, car status, shows you the tire pressure and everything like that. There's no navigation, so there's no route we're going on, but gives you a lot of nice features on the dash. And you can even show a clock. So this car is actually really easy to get into gear too. You'll see right here there's a little lever, and this is kind of similar to a lot of, like, at least I've seen it on like Ford Explorers and things like that, where the gear shifter's up here. But you'll see if your foot's on the brake, there you just go up and it goes into reverse. To go into park, you just tap the end. Then to go into drive, you would just hit it down. So it's really simple to drive this car. Of course, you have your windshield wipers and everything on the other side. Blinkers. But these cars can be a little intimidating when you first get in them, but they're really not that difficult. If you're trying to do something, most likely it's going to be on the screen. The screen really shows you everything. You can set whatever you want on here, and then all you have to do is put it into gear. The car never goes off, so when you get somewhere, you literally just put it into park, and you can take your foot off the brake and get out of the car. There is no turning it off. There is no shutting off the engine. It's all electric, so car knows when you're in it and it knows when you're not in it. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below.